acknowledge this statement from myself as the Executive President of the Pan-African Business Forum. And I'll give you, before our statement, a little bit our objectives as the Pan-African Business Forum. We are the coalition for the reinforcement of investment for the continent. Our aim is to foster a greater reforms in terms of the investment law in countries without making noise. We support through seminars, advising, supporting the mechanism which will help government to make the private sector a greater engine for the development of any economy in the continent. And you can only do that by empowering the private sector. And that private sector is some of us all over the continent. And it can only be very successful if you have a very good climate for business people. And ladies and gentlemen, next month in Lilongwe, Malawi, at the next summit of African Union, a new chairman of the African Union Commission will be voted for and subsequently elected by the member states. This upcoming election will effectively amount to a run-up of inclusive election for an African Union chairman held in January this year in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The continued impasse on this position is negatively affecting continental investment and business. This is now our concern. The election of a new person, and a woman for that matter, will give the continent new impetus for economic development and important player in the world politics. That election pitted South Africa's Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Nkosazana Clarice Dlamini Zuma, against the incumbent Jean Ping, a former Gabonese foreign minister. Neither candidate was able to garner the required total majority of votes required to be elected to the position of African Union Commission chairman. And so a new ballot was scheduled for June. In next month's election, the same candidates will contest against each other once again. Since the beginning of this year, all the current African Union chairman positions, including those of chairman, deputy chairman, and commissioners, have had their tenures extended. This has effectively stifled the activity of the African Union, a body which has in the past not been particularly vibrant, especially over the past 4 years. On behalf of the Pan-African Business Forum, the umbrella body of over 350 businessmen and professionals, I am here to garner support for one of the two candidates at next month's election. Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is one of the most respected and revered people in South Africa. Indeed, she is the ex-wife of South Africa's incumbent president, Jacob Zuma. But her current position in that country and her candidacy for the position of chairman of the African Union Commission has nothing to do with that. Rather, her political career and achievement and accomplishments have run parallel to those of the South African president himself. Indeed, Dlamini Zuma is unanimously respected not just among South Africans, but across much of the continent as a fearless and strong-willed politician who brings intellect and integrity to whatever position she holds. She is also highly regarded for her management skills and work ethics, which are truly exemplary. If reality be told, South Africa was steadfast in its adhering to agree process by the African Union, and that proper legal process must be followed in dealing with domestic and regional matters, it is worthy of note that South Africa is completely committed to gender equality. The country has never shied away from nominating a woman for a position if she fits the bill, and this is no exception. Dr. Dlamini Zuma is the best candidate for the job of African Union Commission chairman. And that is why she has been nominated for it by the South African government. If she is elected, it will be a victory for gender equality and indeed affirmative action for the whole continent, since all 3 African Union chairmen up till now have been men. It is instructive that South Africa's unanimous decision to back Dlamini Zuma for the African Union chairmanship was taken by all the member states of SADC, Southern Africa Development Community, at their summit last year. This was out of the realization that Dr. Dlamini Zuma fits the bill perfectly for this all-important continent position. It is also instructive that last January election for the position, following established voting rule during the 4th round of voting, the incumbent Jumping was the only candidate, but he still failed to attract 2/3 of the vote, leading to the suspension of the election. This can be integrated as a vote of no confidence, or sought in the tenure of Jumping so far, or as a sign of frustration that the more deserving candidate, Dr. Dlamini Zuma, has been taken off the ballot. The general consensus is that some commission vote from certain countries were responding to what they perceived to be foreign policy blunders made during 2011 by South Africa regarding situation in Ivory Coast in Libya. I would like to emphasize here that Dr. Dlamini Zuma, as a Home Affairs Minister,